Cool. Navigator, you have arrived.
Okay, so he's already changed his course. Fine.
Yes.
I'm going, I want to go to the auguries and make a test using them to determine the celestial bodies and such that are surrounding us.
Okay. Go for it.
What skill am I testing against? Well, yeah, what skill?
It would still be a scrutiny check.
Scrutiny? Alright, so I'm going to take it at minus 20.
But you do have the plus 15 to the detection rating, so it's only like a minus 5.
Okay, cool. So that's going to be not too bad. Okay, that is a straight pass.
Alright, so in the system, it's a fairly empty system. You have two very close together rocky worlds orbiting close to the star, which is where a lot of the Vox traffic you guys were detecting was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
There is one lone stellar giant in the outer reach of the system, but it has a large collection of moons and other small bodies.
That seems like a nice place to hide away from a hostile force.
Okay, I would like to make a stellar navigation check to try to determine a basically a route that would obscure us from enemy auguries as long as possible.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so 36 out of 51.
If you entered into the upper atmosphere of the gas giant, that would definitely give you what you need.
I relay such to Trystan.
I adjust my course to head towards the gas giant.
All right, wonderful. Another thing that is brief.
I look back to the captain and say, "Does that sit well with you, Captain?" Don't want to step on toes.
Noted well. Good idea.
Thank you, Helmsman.
I'm going to glare at Nostromo for a moment. Just hold on. That's good. Muted. I'd like to know why you feel the need of abscond with the chain of command here.
I was simply recommending a course of action. I did not give any order.
All right. I failed a lot of willpower rolls through this whole thing. For a lot of things. So it's going to be a good session. Keep going.
Just as a minor note, Navigator, during your scans of the system, 3 of the vessels that were pursuing you have vanished from the aspects.
Did you say vanish?
Okay.
Do we know which 3?
I'm going to make
Raider class vessels.
I'm going to make a scanning the aether check. This is out of the Navis primer.
Good.
So I'm going to make a negative 10 Cynicians check, and that should reveal warp phenomena in our vicinity. No. You know what? I'm going to fate point that because I have
I was going to
fate.
ask.
I have fate points to spare, so I'm going to just... This could be important. Ah, that's a 10.
Wonderful. The vessels have transitioned into the warp, and they are rapidly gaining ground.
Wait, you can do short warp jumps?
Yeah. Captain, it appears that 3 of the vessels pursuing us have transitioned to warp and will be upon us much sooner than anticipated.
Is it possible to fire things into warp?
Not without really going there ourselves.
And you don't really want to get into a space battle in the warp.
Yeah,
everyone will die.
I believe the term would become hell or high water. In this case, both.
Oh, God.
If you would accept my suggestion, we need to get into close vicinity with the planet as soon as possible. That would make any error in their warp calculations fatal to them.
Sounds prudent. Can you get us to this gas giant with post haste safely?
Can I adjust speed?
Go for it.
I believe it doesn't require any. Oh no, just need to make a pilot check. I pass with 2 degrees.
Wonderful. You begin squeezing the engines for any bit of extra thrust that can be garnered, and the ship begins moving steadily along. Based on your readings, Navigator, this is giving you a slight bit of breathing room.
Captain,
Yes.
request permission to have the Archmilitant round up some men to guard points of entry in the worst case of shipboarding, so that we are prepared in the worst case.
That is very, very prudent. Yes. Do it. Do it now.
All right, Nafula, let's round up some of our people and post them in critical positions where boarding might be the most likely to happen.
I'll go group up the men. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Well, it won't come to that if we're blown out of space clean.
Trystan,
Okay.
have you ever encountered men such as these before in your travels?
Yes, my liege. I have encountered them many times. I believe my detachment of the Imperial Guard, or not my detachment, the detachment I was with in the Imperial Guard, was responsible for actually taking back a hell world.
What do you know? Do you know anything of their? What are they? Do you know what they're going to try to do next? Have you ever fought a battle such as this?
Their fury is matched only by the Emperor's, and their numbers were what they just threw bodies at us constantly.
Hmm. All right, I'm going to sit back in my throne and.
In short, I
Volunteer.
don't think these are people to be reasoned with in the first place.
No.
These men deserve no
Quarter.
deserve nothing so much as a parlay.
Do they have a leader? That you would? Do these people have leaders? Every gang
leader
has a.
that you
Every
want
gang has a boss.
with.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to defer to these.
In the time for your various discussions, increasing the speed of the ship, scanning the ether, you've bridged the distance to this outer rim gas giant, probably about half the total distance. You have been able to keep ahead, even of the vessels in the warp, thanks to our helmsman. I would like another scanning of the spexes, if anyone cares to.
At this point, immediately after making my recommendations prior and warning them of the vessels, I would like to have begun my preparations for warp jump.
Perfect.
Somebody roll
Does
for
anyone-
auspices.
Who has scrutiny as trained? I only have it as basic.
Me.
Yeah, you should do it. But
All right, here we go. Here we go.
fire away.
Ooh. I failed by 2 points.
Did you add the +10 for the detection
Oh
rating?
no! In that case, I pass.
All right. The largest vessel, the light cruiser that you detected, has, as rather than a approach vector, has begun to veer towards what would presumably be a firing standpoint. And upon further inspection, it has deployed several long-range torpedoes, which are now speeding towards your ship.
Can we?
Evasive action.
Could we shoot them down with a starbreaker?
That would require you to then angle towards the coming towards them, because at this moment you're kind of going away and your vessels are
Can we launch
forward base mounted.
torpedoes?
launch escape pods at the torpedoes.
Wait.
Can I launch a gun at them?
Wait.
Does anyone here have like knowledge of Imperial Navy or anything?
I do.
Okay. You should make a test against that.
Yeah.
And see if you would know how to deal with the countermeasures on them.
Do a barrel roll.
I got a 2. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's 4 degrees of success.
All right. So in this case specifically, what you're going to want to do is either veer, either if you can imagine the ecliptic, the disk of the solar system, you're going to want to veer either averting up or down from the ecliptic. It will defer you off your course, but the way this cruiser is fired is basically along your trajectory as it stands at this point, hoping that you will simply run into its salvo.
Yeah.
All right.
Since
So
you
I'm
rolled
gonna
so
veer-
well, let me give you a little information about the way that the Imperial Navy uses torpedoes. They're very often used as a corralling measure. Basically, they fire off a salvo of like hundreds of these torpedoes, which are mainly unguided, just to basically make a area of space unavailable for movements, lest you risk being hit by one of these torpedoes.
Tortillas.
One of these big rolled up tortillas with
I'm definitely gonna
enormous
do that.
plasma warheads. Yeah, so we don't want to get hit with a torpedo because torpedoes are like capital ship busters.
Mm-hmm.
They're normally, you could also use them to destroy planets. So,
Well, those are a special kind of torpedo.
vortex torpedoes. I'm sure the disciples of Korn are carrying them. All right, so try to make that move.
Yeah. So
Did
let's
you
go
say
up.
they were corn tortillas?
I want you to
Can you stop?
I want you to die. I want to space this stuff.
Okay. All right. We'll go back.
I rolled a 93, but I'm gonna fate point that,
Oh my
You
god!
better.
and I got a 14.
Much better.
All right. So you have begun correcting the ship's course, which will deter you from the gas giant at the moment. Your course will be altered. What will be the next step?
So with
Well-
can I redirect back down towards the gas giant? So outside the path of the tortillas?
I would love.
Yes.
It's part of the rogue trader dialect now.
It'll be some time before you're able to kind of redirect back in kind of a straight course. But I will allow you to make a difficult pilot check at a -10 for this. Tristan?
Sorry, I thought I had unmuted it. I rolled a 25, which passes with 1 degree.
Okay. Your helmsman has been able to kind of move you towards a more forward bearing, while hopefully avoiding the majority of the salvo. As far as your rituals navigator, how fare they?
Nostromo.
Sorry, what? I was reading something.
How fare your rituals?
You want me to make a divining the auguries test?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Let me know on anything above a. Actually, just make it roll.
So, I'm trying to expedite this as much as possible. I want to try and use the chart that I made
Okay.
to bring us essentially back home.
Back to the listening post? That's
Yeah.
what you want to do?
Because that's going to be the fastest way out of here. Best chance of success.
Okay.
So I will do that.
Alright, so I'll give you a +10.
Right. Additional plus 10 because I made it myself. Is this test modified by the ship's modifier?
It is not, because this is a Sination's check.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Oh, wow.
Of course, let me know if any of the dice turn up a 9.
Thankfully, no. I rolled an 8.
Ah, even better.
That is even worse then!
In this case, the course back to the listening post will have you charting straight through the heart of a warp storm.
Oh. Okay. So,
Boy, am I glad.
So, what are the repercussions of trying to do that? Immediate death? Does anyone know?
I'm just glad I'm on the lower decks and I don't have to deal with these tough decisions.
Scholastic.
since I've passed that by about 5 degrees of success, do I think it will work?
So I'm going to describe what you are feeling is happening.
Okay.
Is normally, in your experience, warp phenomenon is very simply, it exists, it's passing, moving. What you feel like is this star system you're in is currently being encircled. Deliberate. And with foul intention. And you've never experienced that before. You can deal with it however you wish.
That's always good to hear. Are you going to tell us that?
Hold on. I need to think.
All right.
In the
while this is
meantime-
happening, I want to round up all the crew from the engine deck. I'm gonna leave the bridge and go down to.
Okay.
So you're assembling the engine crew for what purpose, Captain?
I'm gonna interrogate them in mass.
Okay.
Really?
So, while we are still approaching the gas giant, the captain's going to leave his station on the bridge to a more general area of the ship. It doesn't take long to round them up.
All
So
right.
while the captain is doing that, does anyone else want to do anything of particular interest at the moment?
I'm going to really quickly make a Forbidden Lore warp test.
Go for it.
No, I failed that. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
All you know is that a warp storm appears to be being moved as if intentionally, and that's scary.
Yeah.
That's an uncomfortable feeling.
Yep.
I'm gonna box to Nathula that I want her to come here with as many men as she can spare, prepared to deal with any insurrection once the crew once they propose the question.
Wonderful.
Okay. Anything from our lovely seneschal?
I don't think I'm helpful anywhere.
You can come. I have not. You can come. Be
Sure.
interesting.
You know what? Fine. I'm
You
coming
should
with
come.
This can be Raver's purging the remembrancers moment.
No bet.
Regardless. So, at this point, you guys are roughly a half an hour, 30 minutes travel away from the gas giant. From there, you'll have to attempt to navigate into the heart of this thing. But for the moment, Captain Seneschal, you've gathered most of the engine crew, except for maybe vital members, into this general area. But I assume you don't want to leave the entire engines unmanned, unless that is the captain's madness.
No, that's the right move. I'm not painfully incompetent, but not definitely incompetent. So yes,
I thought so.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You have gathered in kind of an overlook at the men that have been barricaded into a large room. There are security forces and Nafala at the feet of everything. And they all look more or less confused, slightly terrified. What are you doing over here?
I want to address all of them. Say, as far as I'm aware, all of you are loyal to servants. However, events have come to pass that make me question the loyalty of a select few of you. The fate of these few will determine the fate of all of you. I need to know everything you all know about Avgarn. During the most recent tussle we all had in the engine, I vividly remember several of you chanting it. I need to know anything, or need you to volunteer anyone that knows anything. You have 5 minutes to determine this amongst yourselves, otherwise Nathula will begin putting up the necessary questions.
Can I take out my flail?
Of course.
It's
So
two-handed flail.
they all start looking confused, muddled, kind of eyeing from one to the other, waiting for someone to say something or do something. And after the time passes, the allotment times, and then they're all looking to you, and there's this moment whether or not you follow through, Captain.
Hold on. Yes. So, can I make a perception roll to see if I remember anyone from the other side of the guy that shot me? So last session, I was shot in the chest by a would-be mutineer who I killed. I want to see if I can remember any specific faces. How many people do we have in this area?
Probably roughly 100.
Okay, could I see if I can pick anyone out?
At a minus 20 awareness check.
It's a 14, which I would pass because it's a basic skill. So that's what, a minus 20. Oh, I actually pass it. But I have a 34 perception, so I pass it with 0 degrees of success. A 14 and a 14.
All right, but you have awareness trained.
Yes.
Okay, so you do pass. So there is one beady-eyed man that you can remember, slightly balding, and he's kind of huddled, kind of towards the center. And as you're watching the guy has kind of moved himself closer to the center, seemingly trying to put bodies between him and any potential firearm discharges.
I'm going to point to him and say, Nathula, please detain this man.
I'm gonna.
And I'll say to the rest of the crew, if you would all please expedite his passage to justice, the rest of you will be free to go.
I don't even need to roll for that. It doesn't take much. At first, there's a moment when he kind of looks at everyone else, and then the mob descends. You lose sight of him as he is sucked into the people, and it goes very quickly from moving him to bludgeoning him. And by the time he makes it to the outside of the group, he's mangled a little bit.
Oh.
Breathing, but mangled.
That's fine. He did Nathula's work. They did Nathula's work for her. It's fine.
I'll grab him by the arm and check him for weapons.
Scrutiny check.
I don't have much scrutiny, but let's roll for it anyway. Nah, 72.
How about let me do it? I have a keen eye on these things.
Sounds good.
9.
Is it too late? 9.
He has a firearm along his thigh.
How fitting. I'm gonna remove it and hand it to you, Captain.
I'll take it. Let's move it. We're all gonna move out of here now, back to a more secluded area.
Question, Kenneth.
Go on.
Who did we have in the brig from last time? It was someone. It was a woman. It was a girl.
Yeah, the girl who was in the dining hall when.
Yes, her.
She's not in the brig. Not in the
Her name
brig.
is Maya. She's not in the brig. She knows the captain, so she was taken somewhere special.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I go see her?
No, you may not.
That was the first outright no I've heard from you, Captain.
I'm glad we're clear.
guys. There's something weird going on there.
Very well.
Okay, so while the minigame is progressing with the Seneschal, Archmilitant, and the Captain here, Navigator, as you're continuing to do your things, can I get another scan of the ether check?
Yeah. I think that's a failure because it's a -10 check. Yeah, so exactly 1 degree of failure.
You have been overtaken.
Uh-oh.
What?
Emergency
Go
warp
on.
jump time.
Does he relay this information?
Well, I wouldn't know. I failed.
Well, hold on.
No.
Let's see what this means.
You don't get any specifics, but you know you have been overtaken.
So they're now ahead of us, or they're on top of us, and they're here.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so remind me of our specific location now. So we're at the gas giant, but not in the cloud yet. We're not trying to evade them yet.
You are nearly upon the gas giant, but you haven't entered the atmosphere. You're still closing that gap, but you have finally been overtaken. At least by one vessel. That's all you're able to garner out of this struggle.
Do we know which vessel?
They're all raiders. They're all raider.
Yeah,
Well, 3 of them were raiders.
the ones that were in the warp were the raiders. The other ones stayed in real space. All right, I want to make one final Cynescience check. I want to scan this presence that seemingly enveloped the star system for...
Go for it. Just roll.
Okay.
I like opposed checks.
Wow. Okay. That's a 92.
Good. I want a toughness check, Nostromo. At a -15.
Hot damn.
All right. That one fell. So let's see. Okay, I fail by 4 points.
So, as you're sitting there upon the throne in the Navigator's chamber, doing your various rituals and scannings, when you attempt to garner a sense of what is happening in the star system, you suddenly feel a pressure pushing straight down upon you, and you are thrust back into the throne, and you are being held there. In the next moment, you are being lifted from the throne, and then very briskly you are thrown to the back of the chamber.
Ow.
For your trouble, just take a point of damage from me.
Okay.
Not reduced by anything.
Better than fatigue.
True.
True.
Do I have? I am currently the only officer on the bridge.
Correct.
Okay. Do
Well-
I have anyone?
You're going to be the only officer on the bridge for maybe about 5 seconds after I run out of my chamber and scream, "We can't translate!"
So, in the time between this happening to Nostromo, one of the raiders is going to translate into real space directly in front of the vessel of the Helmsguard, and is going to unleash a salvo of macro cannon batteries at you.
Can I take evasive maneuvers?
I just want a raw, agility check from our helmsman here.
A raw agility check?
I
Alright.
just want a raw agility check real quick to test your reaction time on this.
20
Good.
out of 51.
Good. All right. I want you to make a very difficult -30 pilot check to avert ramming the ship, let alone trying to stop being fired at.
Oh,
Do I need to avert ramming?
Or do you want to ram more?
Could I accelerate ramming?
You could.
We-
that is the other choice.
We don't have an armored prow. Don't.
I think you need to test willpower because the enemy has just presented itself to you.
Yeah.
And there is no one here to bark you down.
I got
Remember,
a 76 on willpower, so I think I'm going to go ahead.
there
Yeah.
goes our Starbreaker.
rip.
Or, sorry, our Sunseer laser battery.
Yeah, can I?
Alright.
Can
No,
I?
that's on the back.
No, we have
It's along the dorsal. It's along the bottom of the ship. What was that, Helmsman?
in the prow we have the Sunseer laser battery. In the dorsal we have the Starbreaker lance. For the Sunseer laser battery, can I fire it before accelerating?
One moment. I have to roll for things that are happening.
Yeah. This will be
Oh, that's
interesting.
unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
I mean, if you roll well enough with that cannon, maybe you just blast the thing in half.
I'm fairly sure that's not what's about to happen.
Can I? Can
God.
I still do evasive maneuvers though?
Well,
No,
it's a
you
couple
made
of
the
actions.
decision to.
Yeah,
continue
no
forward,
evasive
so.
maneuvers when you hit ramming speed. Sorry,
Okay, just making sure.
you just doomed us all. It's no big deal.
I mean, says the person who just. Alright, I'm not gonna.
That's
All right.
that's for the post-mortem. That's after roll. Blade
Yeah.
move. Who did what?
All right. Components, real quick. All right. So your typical. So what is the strength on these things? Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So strength of 3, so that's gonna work out just fine. How do I determine crits? Just gonna destroy the Geller field. That'll be
Excuse
life
me?
easier. What was that?
Destroy the killer field. You know what? Carry on.
Yeah, everything is fine. Everything is going exactly as planned.
Nothing is going well. We are all going to die.
So where exactly are the escape pods?
Those are going to be irrelevant very soon.
We don't want to be in the escape pods in a system such as this.
Okay. In that case, that will not have occurred. All right, so 3 massive macro cannon shells are going to pound into the Helmsguard in all its glory. So that glory.
We have no void shields up?
We have one.
Yes,
They should always be up.
they are always up.
This isn't Star Trek. We don't have to charge the fucking
Shields
shields.
up.
Thank God.
So,
Imperial starship design just assumes hostility at all times, so.
which is smart. So,
So-
Captain Picard, what are we gonna do? Or are you more of a Kirk?
I have this really crazy plan.
I have an idea.
So real quick.
Go on.
So
Let's see
typically-
what happens.
So typically, void shields is when you're doing starship combat. Whatever layer of void shields is the number of hits that are absorbed free of charge. So in this case, a volley of 3 is coming at you. Void shields are going to hit 1, overload, and then the subsequent 2 are going to hit you hard and solid. And I just need to roll for the damage, and that's what's going to happen in all its glory. Greater. So damage on these. 2d10. Alright. 2d10 plus 4. Okay. Gibran, what is the armor on the Helmsguard?
16.
Okay, wonderful. So you guys are actually going to take that hit and not have to suffer any hardship.
Excellent.
Wow.
So how does
That
how
ship
does combat
doesn't
work
suck.
here? Does our armor degrade, or do we just?
The armor
Take
does
hull
not
integrity.
degrade.
We have structural hit points, don't we?
Yeah, we have hull
Yeah.
integrity of 30, right? So
Yeah,
whatever damage we take is reduced by armor, and then whatever's left is applied to the hull.
correct.
Got it.
Unless you're using a lance battery in which your armor is irrelevant and it immediately hits your hull integrity.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of lance.
They're not very
So-
strong though, or they don't have a very high strength rate.
Yeah, strength rating is number of hits. In this case, normally a lance battery is your potential hits.
Right.
So in the case of the lance, you're typically firing one large charge, which is why you normally want to pair it with a macro battery, bring their void shields down, and then take the ship down.
Sounds like we should be returning salvo now.
All right.
Well, we're about
First
to
things.
smash them.
So first thing, everyone on the ship while you're escorting this other guy out feels the entire ship shudder twice, and you hear metal bending. In your frantic running around Nostromo, you fall to your knees and slide against a wall, a bulkhead, when this happens as you're trying to get to the bridge. And pretty much all of you should know that at this moment you were suffering enemy fire. So what is everyone doing now at this exact moment? I know what the helmsman's doing, but I need to know what everyone else is doing.
I'm running to the bridge.
Run to the actually.
I can take this guy to the brig if you guys need to
No.
go to the bridge.
We're going to talk to him right now, and then we'll deal with him with what he tells us.
So where are we? In some kind of corridor?
Don't care where we are. Minute we have that
Stability?
we realize we've been hit, we'll stop, and I'll turn to him and say, I don't care what your name is. I don't care what you do. I need to know what you know about Avgarn now, or you die now. What just occurred is a direct result of whatever you know. Speak now.
I know nothing.
Can I twist his arm?
Yes.
All right, you're inflicting pain. Maybe get him down to his knees, still being very resilient, claiming he knows nothing.
Wait. I'm gonna use I'm gonna be useful for once. Give me a second.
Do it.
I'm gonna use inquiry on this guy. Listen, you might be okay with just yourself dying, but then there's also the other crewmates on the ship, and it's not just us. It's everyone. It's every single life on this ship. Right, and they might have people waiting for them back home. So any information you can give us, please. And I'm gonna roll.
Give me a charm check, not
Charm.
You're appealing
Did
to
you
him.
say charm? That's 2 degrees of success.
Where's ship combat?
Shit, Captain.
So would you roll?
I rolled. Give me a second. I rolled 38 for 60.
Okay. So, you obviously pass handily, thankfully. And he gazes up at you and simply says, Avgarn, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. It's just this beat, this hum that consumes you. And ever since we entered the warp, a lot of us have just heard it over and over again, and this chanting, this drumming, and just drives you mad. But at the same time, It's liberating. It's freedom.
Upon hearing the word freedom, I'm going to look at Nathula and then look at him and say, "You're hereby found guilty of treason against the Imperium and his holy Terra. Execute him, Nathula. Let's go." And then I'm going to leave.